I'm standing now in front of Kresge Hall, which is home to our J. Frank White Academy Lower School. In August of 2019, our lower school officially opened, making us a K-12 academy. Our lower school is conveniently located adjacent from our upper school, which makes it extremely convenient for parents who have children at both the upper school and at the lower school. This is the main door here at the lower school of J. Frank White Academy. When you ring the doorbell, Miss Sherry here will buzz you in and take care of all of your needs. Here I'm standing in front of our kindergarten classroom, taught by Mrs. STOTTS. Not only is our exterior door locked, but all of our interior doors are locked as well. Let's take a peek inside. Now we're inside of our kindergarten classroom. As you can see, we have learning stations and a colorful environment, which is perfect for our kindergarten students. And this is our first grade classroom taught by Mrs. Gibson. As you can see, we value small class sizes here at J. Frank White Academy Lower School. Welcome to our second grade classroom, taught by Ms. Cash. As you can see, we have different learning stations and state-of-the-art technology. Here we're standing in the dining hall at the lower school. Now, while our upper school students walk to the LMU cafeteria, our lower school students have their food catered right here. Can you tell us a little bit about the food here?
Sure. Miss Amy brings our lunch to us every single day. She knows our children by name, and she's very accommodating to the foods that they like or the foods that maybe they're not a fan of. I remember one instance in particular this year. It was Halloween, and she went out of her way to make all of their lunch Halloween themed, and there were things hiding in their Jell-O, and so she does a great job of just going above and beyond for our kids every single day.
Here we are at our porch at the lower school. This is where our students are dropped off and picked up each day. Could you tell us a little bit about the process?
Of course. So every morning the cars pull around, and we always have LMU security out here with us, and we help get the kids out of the car and into the school safely and quickly for a very fluid process.
Here I'm standing in front of our historic spring house and amphitheater. This is where our lower school students walk over and have PE class and recess. LMU security closes the roads so that the students can cross over safely.
I am Dr. Christopher Stotts. Recently just finished my doctoral dissertation. I am the assistant principal and chemistry teacher and STEM coordinator here at J. Frank White Academy. I am, I think, the only individual that has a foot in both worlds, as I teach chemistry in the upper school and I'm the assistant principal down here at the lower school. So in my mind, I've got the best job in the building and wouldn't trade it for anything. I have been at the academy going on 11 years now. It seems, I'm telling my age there. I do feel like this is my dream job, and I would not trade it for anything, and I am very blessed to be here. First off, the STEM approach is grounded in critical thinking and problem solving skills, and we recently earned our STEM certification through the Cognitive organization, which is the largest educational accrediting body in the world. And it's a vetted process that we went through where we have a list of standards and indicators that we submit evidence for. And an independent review group comes in to get an idea of what we're doing firsthand in our classrooms, to make sure that all of our approaches and our curriculum is STEM-based and they align with those standards. Our kids have a very hands-on and focused curriculum and interactive experience in their learning atmosphere. We have projects that are grounded in the critical thinking, as I said, and kids have an engineering design process that they follow where as they encounter their problems, they have a planning phase and a design phase, and then when they get those actions actually constructed and built and they construct models, then they'll go back and redesign based off of problems that they face. So we incorporate the benefit of failure in our classroom. So all of that promotes lifelong learning. When kids move on to middle school grades and high school grades, they have those skills embedded already, and they're just going to have exponential success as they continue through their academic career. It's going to vary from classroom to classroom and from grade level to grade level and from teacher to teacher. We're very blessed and fortunate to be on the campus of Lincoln Memorial University, and with that relationship, we have a lot of resources at our disposal in the technological realm. We've got one-to-one situations with our iPads and our students. With the iPads, our teachers have freedom and liberty to incorporate any app in which they feel would be beneficial for their students. We use our iPads very often in reinforcing situations where students have differentiation needs. We can send those iPads home with the students, and they can, with their teacher, develop a plan to bring up certain skills in which they may be deficient. All of our classrooms are just decked out with the latest and greatest technology. We have interactive smart boards, we have multiple screens, we have document cameras. So LMU has been fortunate enough to leave no stone unturned in allowing us to access technology.
My name is Katie Stotts. I am from Middlesboro, Kentucky. I've been teaching for 11 years, and this is my 9th year at the Academy. I love to teach. I have been in 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, and this has been my first year in kindergarten. Even as young as kindergarten, we are preparing our students to problem solve, and a huge part of what we do is also helping the children navigate working with each other and being in a group setting and being able to resolve issues that come up from that. And we're also teaching them a lot about responsibility as far as being responsible for their things and also for their actions. STEM education looks a lot like problem solving and exploratory play. We talk a lot about how planning is important and how things are prone to fail if we don't plan, and then we also learn from our failures when we do that. I would be a manatee so that I could float around in the water and eat all day. One of my favorite elementary school moments was in 5th grade. My mom typically picked me up from school, but there was a day that my dad had to pick me up, and he is a funeral director. So a lot of the teachers at the end of the day during pickup time became alarmed when a hearse pulled through the pickup line, and then I told them not to worry because that was for me. Something about me that could be interesting is that I do like to sing, but I also like to be really silly, and that's my favorite thing about myself.
My name is Amanda Gibson, and I am the 1st grade teacher at JFWA Academy. I just finished my 2nd year teaching here, my 6th year teaching altogether, and I'm a graduate of Lincoln Memorial University. I'm a mom of 2 toddlers, so I'm always with children, whether I'm at school or at home. So when I differentiate for students that are learning at different paces, a lot of that happens in small groups. So sometimes that group may just be that child and myself. It may be 2 or 3 students and myself. It's usually no more than 4 students. And so in small groups, we're able to go back and look at the specific skills that each child needs to work on and kind of hammer those out until we have mastered them. Through COVID-19, our school was able to move into a remote learning plan, so I still met with students every single day of the week via Zoom. I began that doing class-wide Zoom so they could still see their friends. Asked for feedback from my students and did individual Zoom sessions so I could work one-on-one on the gaps that students may have in their learning and truly challenging them in the skills that they specifically needed. So I do think my students are ready for next year. I've seen them grow leaps and bounds in their reading levels and their math scores just since we have moved into remote learning. And one of the most memorable moments I have from elementary school is in the 3rd grade, I had won our class spelling bee and was chosen as the delegate to be in the school spelling bee. And although that year I did not win, the word that I missed and got out on had been one of our spelling words that year in 3rd grade. And I just knew that my teacher was going to be so upset with me, but she was not. She wrapped me up and gave me a big hug, and she's actually the inspiration as to why I wanted to become a teacher. Currently, right now, my family is involved with the church that we attend and finding ways to serve and give back to others, and that's one of the great things about J. Frank White Academy is that bond between school and the community and how we offer so many family events for our students to attend.
Hi, my name is Samantha Cash. I'm the second grade teacher here at J. Frank White Academy. I graduated from Lincoln Memorial University and I'm currently pursuing my master's degree here, and I'm from Dayton, Ohio. One of the benefits of attending the J. Frank White Academy is our smaller class sizes. With the smaller class sizes, we have the ability to differentiate on various levels. One could be the pace that a student learns at. We have the ability to slow it down for those students, and also how the student learns, whether they learn kinesthetically, hands-on, auditorially, or verbally. We can also accommodate for those. One of the ways that we incorporate technology here at the J. Frank White Academy is through what we are supplying to our students. Each student gets their very own iPad, which helps when we went on remote learning as well. And we also have some of the best smartboards I've ever seen in the J. Frank White Lower School. And another way that we pull technology into our lessons is through our STEM certification. In second grade, they actually made a pet robot that walks using solar power. If I could be any animal, I would definitely start in the ocean, and I would be a shark because I grow teeth every year. I do love rescue dogs. We actually currently have like a running kennel at my house of 5 dogs that were all rescued, varying from very small little man dogs to very big pit mixes. And they are all very loving and full of personality. My favorite memory from elementary school was in first grade. We took a trip to the Banana Slugs Festival, and there was this giant ball that you could just push, and all the kids were pushing it. Well, I jumped on it and rolled, and I kept rolling under it.
I'm Summer Wynn, and I will be teaching at J. Frank for 3rd grade next year. I currently have 4 children who attend the academy. I come from kind of all over. I've lived in Atlanta, Georgia, Washington, D.C., Blacksburg, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina, and now Jonesville, Virginia. I've taught at public schools and private schools. I attended an international private school as a child and Virginia Tech for my college and my master's, and I look forward to teaching next year. For me in the classroom, to differentiate amongst children with a lot of different levels, I found the easiest way to do it was through centers and grouping. And I kept the centers really fluid and changing sort of on a constant basis. And I would do a lot of informal and formal assessment to know where the children were. And I found that I could do centers across subjects and, change according to what the child needs as an individual, because in any classroom that I've ever taught in, if I had 22 students, I had 22 different levels. So I really found that when I worked with students in groups of 2 to 3, or even individually, I would see a lot of growth across the board. Well, I was always raised near a very big city or in a suburb, and I never imagined that I would be living in a teeny rural town with 2 stoplights and no coffee shop. But that's where I do live now. And I've actually really, besides missing the coffee shops and the really nice grocery stores, I've come to really love where I live, because having children where we can open the back door and get out in nature every single day and go work and play in the dirt and take care of animals and watch cows give birth and bottle feed baby goats and have that life right at our fingertips is, I think, immeasurable. And I think that really every child benefits from being raised in an environment like that. And along those same lines, living where I live, the sense of community is so strong that I know at any moment I could call on a neighbor and he or she would be there to help us at any time. So it's really had benefits that I didn't anticipate and that I really love. I think J. Frank White really provides a cohesive educational trajectory for students, because every single day these students are amongst college students, students getting their master's, their medical degree, their doctorates, high school students, and they're around it at all times, that they become motivated intrinsically just by the modeling that they see on the campus. And as a parent of children here and as a teacher, I've really noticed that there's a lot of motivation that comes from being able to see that on a daily basis without any sort of heavy-handed lesson being taught about one's future. As a child, my parents really believed a lot in travel, and so I went to an international school where I actually was a pen pal with a girl from France, and my parents at 9 years old sent me over to France by myself to spend time with her, and then she came over and stayed with us. My dad worked with the Peace Corps, and he traveled to Central and South America and took us to Mexico. We used to go to Europe, and I recently took my children to Sweden, and we have a trip planned to Ireland as soon as the restrictions are lifted. But I have found that traveling opens someone's brain and mind like nothing else really does. And I've always said that if you are someone who travels, there's no way you can have a small closed mind about people, which I think is wonderful. So, second grade and third grade teacher were the same woman, Miss Janet, and she is a Welsh woman. And she was just the most lovely person in the whole world. And at the end of the day, she would read us books by Roald Dahl. And I can just vividly remember sitting on the floor by her feet in her Welsh accent while she read us Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and James and the Giant Peach, and just being completely taken to those magical lands in those books. And it was that moment on that I decided I wanted to be a teacher after having her for 2 years.